Terence Crawford and Gervonta Davis fought outside the Miami club.
Like, obviously, it being with Tank Davis is
Big gang gang, and we going this way.
What sets you apart?
And the reason for the fight? Well, you might have guessed it already. But let me just give you a hint. Family. And it's not just any family, it's Bud's family.
You not that. And I know for sure you not that.
Now, if family's involved, you will sure as hell want some vengeance. This is what Crawford actually did. After spotting Davis at the Miami club, he wasted no time to give Tank the punch that would send him to the hospital. Yep, as of right now, Davis is in the hospital recuperating. Personal? Yes, and he made sure Davis felt the weight of his anger. People who saw what happened said it was really intense. No one expected two professional boxers to act so out of control, especially with so many people around. And here we think that fighters like them are supposed to set an example. I mean, if you're going to damage your reputation, at least do it in private, where no one can see. Instead, the two boxers let their emotions take over, and now the whole world knows about it. But let's be real, Bud wasn't going to let this slide. He was probably still upset about Davis dragging his family into something that had nothing to do with boxing. Tank crossed a line that couldn't be ignored. Family is off limits, no matter what's happening in the ring or on social media. Still, we can't completely blame Davis for clapping back. After all, it was Bud who started the whole mess by throwing shade on social media. Davis was just firing back in his own way, even if it did go a little too far. You see, when Turki Alalsik initiated the Ring Awards, one big name was left off the guest list: Davis. That's right, Tank wasn't invited. And to make things worse, boxers he had beaten in the ring were there. You can imagine how that must have felt for him. Not getting an invitation felt like an insult to everything he had achieved in boxing. Davis worked hard to build his career, and seeing others he defeated being celebrated must have stung. It would look like that he was being ignored after proving yourself again and again. Bud saw this as the perfect chance to tease Davis. He went straight to social media and posted some harsh words. Even though he didn't mention any names, it was pretty clear who he was talking about. Fans might have had to guess, but both Crawford and Davis knew exactly who the post was aimed at. Davis could tell right away that Crawford's words were meant for him. There was no doubt in his mind that he was the target. Davis just knew that the rocks were really for him. Davis quickly fired back, saying that even though he wasn't invited, he still makes more money than Bud. He must be so rich that he seemed confident about his earnings that didn't hesitate to remind everyone about it. Well, missing the event didn't mean much if he could prove he was more successful financially. Both Crawford and Davis are top boxers, and there's no doubt that they make a lot of money. It's hard to say for sure who makes more. While Davis claims to earn more, Crawford might have his own reasons to disagree. This kind of debate is tricky because no one really knows the exact numbers. As the argument heated up between Davis and Crawford, things took a sharp turn when Davis brought up Crawford's family. Was it crossing the line? Most people think so. But from Davis's point of view, it wasn't. He probably felt that if Crawford was bold enough to post something insulting, then he should be ready for a strong response in return. To be fair, Davis might have thought that mentioning Crawford's family was a fair reaction to the post that he found offensive. If you think about it, this was just part of the back and forth that happens when things get personal. Upon hearing this, Crawford then made a statement while he was driving his car.
If we was to fight right now on the streets, I'll break your fucking neck. And that's on my kids. And you know it, I know it, and the whole world know it. And I'm not talking about no fighting in the ring. If me and you was to fight outside, I will break your neck.
Crawford was so upset that he didn't even think twice about going live on Instagram to vent his frustration. He didn't seem to care about his own safety or what people might think. He even made a bold threat, saying that if he ever saw Davis on the streets, he would break his neck. While he didn't follow through on that bold promise, he certainly made his point clear. When the two met at the club, Crawford's actions spoke louder than his words, leaving Davis in the hospital to recover. After the incident outside the Miami club, Crawford sat down for an interview with Joe Rogan. When Rogan asked him about what went down that night and Bud shared the details, when pressed further about the possibility of facing Davis in the ring, Crawford made it clear that he absolutely wanted that fight.
You know, it's different in the fight, but I believe in my skills and my ability, and I believe in my team. I believe we'll come up with something that...
If the fight ever happens, Crawford believes the actual fight will be the easy part. After enduring all the pain, injuries, and hard training, those challenges will seem insignificant. In short, Bud is confident that he can take out Davis in the ring with no trouble.
Like, you don't see the injuries I had to overcome in training camp. You don't see all the mornings I had to get up when I was tired. You didn't see all the, the hard other training that I had to do to get to right now. They see things right now. They don't see the years that I had to do just to get to this point.
A fight between Crawford and Davis would definitely be exciting. But the question is, how does this help Crawford when promoters are pushing him to fight Canelo Alvarez instead? Before the incident at the club, Crawford already wanted to face Canelo. Beating Canelo would help him prove he is one of the greatest boxers. In fact, Crawford called out Canelo on social media, hoping for the chance to fight him. While there's no official confirmation yet, promoters from both sides are eager to see this fight happen early this year. Canelo is open to the idea of fighting Crawford. When asked about it, he shared his thoughts on the possible matchup.
Everything is possible. We'll see. We want to talk about it, sit down really well and figure out something.
So this year could be great for Crawford. In 2025, he might have the chance to fight two of the greatest boxers ever. This is a big opportunity for him to show what he's made of. However, Crawford will face some challenges. He needs to figure out how to move between weight classes. This could be a bit of a roadblock for him, and it might cause some problems, even if he really wants to fight. But overall, Crawford is in a good spot. If these two fights happen, Crawford is going to make a lot of money. Imagine him fighting Tank. That would be huge. Plus, if he fights Canelo after that, it's going to be even bigger. People won't be able to decide which fight is going to be more exciting. Both fights would draw a lot of attention. Why? Because fans would be eager to see these big matches. And who would be in the spotlight? Yes, Crawford himself. He might even think that Davis bringing up his family was a blessing in disguise. On the other hand, Davis's team hasn't said anything about the club incident yet. But we can be sure that Davis won't just let this go without saying something. He is the kind of person who doesn't like to be insulted. One thing we know about Tank is that he always wants to have the last word. He's not the type to stay quiet when he feels wronged. But what about you? What do you think about this? Please let me know in the comments below.